up here and going back and forth. What have you guys been saying to one another over the past few moments?
Yo, yo, okay, I think I'm good. Yo, okay, I think I'm good. Okay. So, welcome to the stream, guys. As I just said, I wanted to do start of a new series. I'm going to be streaming 1 hour daily every day. It's not because I want to be famous or popular, but it might come with that. But who knows? Not really bothered. But yeah, I'm just streaming so I'll keep accountability for what I want to do because I'm actually doing a course. So I said I'll bring live every day for 1 hour, and I'll be learning on the course. So maybe you guys can just anybody can just hop in and view. So yeah, that's besides that. So let's get to work. Don't mind my messy room. My room is very messy. Yeah, Messi, no Ronaldo. So this is it. This is the course. So the first was week 1 and week 2 Excel and okay, sorry, my fault. Week 1 and week 2. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Week 1 and week 2 Excel and business math slash statistics. Finish watching this video, then track B Google. So I'm done with this video. This one underlined. So Google template gallery for personal finance. Google template gallery for personal finance. Okay. I really don't know what that means, but let me just click on the link. Let's open a new tab. So let's say I go back to the video. So this is the guy I got the video from. So I'll just go back to what it means by
Start today with GoDaddy. If you can dream it, you can build it. Whatever your idea, you can turn it into.
This is the time of the year where many YouTubers publish roadmap videos, and many of them talk about unrealistic PDF file for the roadmap. This is something you can download from the video description below. Here it says 3 months time period. Okay, now there you need to do some big influence. So if you get caught in of Excel, you just learn basic formulas, some advanced formulas, pivot tables.
so basic formula. I know some average products, medium, some advanced formula, not really.
Basic charting, etc. You don't need to learn VBA macros, etc. because they are dying down. Okay, you can do the same thing in Power Query and using other features. So you can ignore VBA and macros. In terms of learning resources, I have this YouTube video where we talk about using business math in Excel. And in this video, we have given data sets, we have given all the necessary resources for generating, let's say, PNL and so on. And here we are covering the essential concepts such as mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, average percentages. The 20% concepts that you will be using 80% of the time, they are all covered. Okay. Another resource that we have is Google Template Library. So if you click on this, you will go here. Here you see various templates. And if you okay, Another resource that we have is Google Template Library. So if you click on this, you will go here. Here you see various templates. And if you click on lesson monthly budget, it will show you this particular file where you can enter your monthly budget numbers. So what you have to do is you have to start using this Excel file and then try to understand what kind of formulas are written. For example, if you look at any cell here, for example, this one, there is a sparkline formula, then there is if formula here, okay? You can also customize this file as per your need. So you are becoming your own client, you're using it for real life use cases, and you're not only learning it, but you're customizing it as per your need. There is another file called annual budget. You can go through it. It is self-explanatory. Here you can maintain your expenses, income, etc. Now there is this website called Vertex 42 where they provide these kind of templates but in Excel format, XLSX. Previously we were talking about Google Sheets. So you can Excel called Vertex expenses, income, etc. Now there is this website called Vertex 42 where they provide these kind of templates but in Excel format, XLSX. Previously we were talking about Google Sheets. So you can download any of these templates, for example, college student budget. So if you're a college student, use this and try to understand what kind of formula they are using, try to customize it. For learning Excel, I will recommend using Chandu's YouTube channel. He provides a lot of useful tutorials. So if you want to learn any particular concept in Excel, you can go through this. Now, say if you want to spend some money and you want more structured way of learning Excel, then I myself have this Excel course where we have covered all the basic concepts plus the advanced concepts such as how do you do data transformation using Power Query in Excel. Many people are not even aware that they can use Power Query in Excel. We have covered some industry projects and so on. All the reviews are real, by the way, so you can check that out. While you're learning Excel, you have to also learn business math and statistics. In that, you learn the concepts such as arithmetic percentages, what is market share, what is year over year growth, and so on. And all of those things we have covered in the video that I just mentioned to you a few seconds ago. The video is available in both English and Hindi.
So this is probably the paid course. Okay. That is the paid course. Hmm. Crazy. The crazy part is that if I say all this is not overwhelming, I'm lying. Like I'm lying. I guess that's why a lot of people don't do it. So just need to look at this, look at the budget template, and continue because I'm doing a course on Coursera, Introduction to Statistics. So yeah, simple budget, personal monthly. That's one I can relate to. Excel. Hmm. If if is blank P36. What does that mean? Okay, the if statement is 36. Okay. If it's blank, then sum is transaction of E, then B36, then transactions. Okay, I think I understand that. Most importantly, yeah, this. What does this look so? Like the hell? It doesn't even look like a. It's crazy. Personal listen. Unique entity. So income, budget, actual, then difference, no difference. Let's see formulas. I need to see formulas. Help. Okay. This purpose of this template is to help you define a monthly budget and compare your budget. Okay. This is a separate example for each major budget except and it. Okay, I think I must start using this for my budget tracker to track my budget. You can modify sub category within Zebra if you remove and the major category you need to. I think I picked an easy file. This seems too simple. Subtotal, total home expenses, then nine, then budget. Hmm. Function number. What is a function number? Never heard of that shit before. Then budget. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where does that 9 come from? I guess everything is 9. Said 9 is function number. What is function number? Function number 9 in Excel. Exactly. Subtotal is used for name part is telling the subtotal is doing. Hmm. MP to I say this formula was. What type of total do you want? Okay, understand second parable like the first part. Into the type of total you want. You see subtotal can be used. Okay, can use subtotal for okay, makes sense. You can simply enter the function now in the table. Oh, this. Okay. So 1 minute average then. Oh, makes sense. Is that what they did here?
My name is
Basic formula, advanced formula. Business maths. E over E between applicable, what was the percentage root answer? If below is itself 1 billion percentage. I don't need to watch this motivation. No, I don't need that. Create your own budget sheet based on monthly expense. Post the template of your budget sheet and share your learning experience. Tag code basic with the hashtag so you can engage to increase your visibility. Okay. Okay. So I think I have 1 more hour to go before I shut down. So business maths. Open link in new tab. ChatGPT on Excel. Is that possible? Excel Pro is a hidden feature to work faster. So what do I watch? There are a lot of data cleaning Excel. Hmm. Like, there are better ways to watch. Advanced Excel. What's charging this history? 11 hours. I should watch it soon. It's crazy. No one went to lie.
There is a Khan
Say
Academy
smallest to
course
largest.
also on this topic. For example, Introduction to Percentages. So you can watch that. You can also refer to mathisfun.com. This website is really good. It provides you simple
what am I doing? What the hell? Okay, so I think I'll click on this. And data, what is data? Collection of files, such as, okay. This was like just one topic, but yeah, I don't know what is even as you call this and screen something. What do you know about Aeroditog? Quantitative. You want to find how many cows was a certain point. 10 minutes. Been tough. Okay. Data index. Okay. Okay, perfect. So currently my head is all over the place, but
Did you know you can AFK Bloods and Zaya whilst learning to code in Python? Go to boot.com.
My name is Alex Freeberg, better known as Alex the Analyst on YouTube, and in this video, you're going to be taking my entire Data Analyst Bootcamp. This bootcamp is comprised of videos that I've made over the past 3 years, and they cover a lot of different topics like SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and Python. Throughout the bootcamp, there are a lot of hands-on guided projects that will really help you learn these skills well. And speaking of projects, there's an entire part near the end where you can build a free portfolio website where you can put all of your projects on so that hiring managers and recruiters can go and look at all these projects that you've built. If you wanted to go even more in depth into the skills that we learned in this bootcamp, I have a data analytics learning platform called Analyst Builder. Analyst Builder was designed specifically for data analysts, so all of the courses and all of the content are just for you, and it has a coding section where you can learn and practice for technical interviews. And lastly, before we jump into the bootcamp, I want to give a huge shout out to Free Code Camp for putting this all together. Personally learned a ton from Free Code Camp, and so I'm really honored that my bootcamp is going to be here for you guys to learn, and I really hope you enjoy it. What's going on, everybody? It is 2023, and in this video, I'm going to help you become a data analyst. We're going to start at the very beginning, assuming you haven't started this process at all of becoming a data analyst. If you already have, you can kind of find, identify where you are in this process, and then go from there. Now, before we dive into everything, I want to warn you, I will be mentioning my own channel a lot in this video. I have videos and playlists on just about every single topic that we're going to be talking about today. I'll have all the links to those videos in the description so you can dive into those topics more in depth. So I hope that's okay, and it's all completely free. I've been building this out for the past 3 years, and honestly, you can probably get 90% of the way to learning everything you need for data analytics just on my channel. So now that I've warned you, let's jump into number 1, and that is learn the data analyst skills. Now, there are literally 100 different things that you can learn for data analytics. You can learn things like AlterX or a cloud platform or different programming languages, but there are some core skills that I recommend you start out with before kind of branching into some of those other skills. The number 1 skill that I always recommend people start with is SQL. SQL is just one of those fundamental skills I think everybody should learn. Even if you don't use SQL, you'll use some variation of SQL if your company has a large enough data set. SQL is used to actually query and retrieve data from a database. So if your company collects data, which every company does, they're going to put it somewhere to store. It's usually stored in a database, and SQL is how you get that data from the database. I think SQL is also fairly easy to learn, which makes it really good when you're just starting out. I have several playlists dedicated to SQL, starting from beginner all the way to advanced, and you can learn all of that for free. One other reason why I think you should learn SQL first is that a lot of companies interview or have a technical interview during the interview process on SQL. That's something that really caught me off guard when I was first starting out because I thought it was going to be more behavioral. I didn't even know what a technical interview was. So knowing SQL actually became a really important part of interviewing and getting a job as a data analyst. The second skill that I will learn is a business intelligence tool like Tableau or Power BI. Now, there are a ton of different BI tools. I can literally name 10 off the top of my head that I've used throughout my career. But what I will say is that learning something like Tableau or Power BI is pretty transferable to almost all those other BI tools. They're all fairly similar in how they do things and how they show and display the data. You most likely won't have a technical interview asking you about Tableau or Power BI, like to build something for them. That usually does not happen, but the combination of SQL where you can query your data and then taking that data to build something, that is a really, really great combination to learn right away. I have an entire series on both Tableau and Power BI with projects on my channel. The third skill that I would learn is Excel. Now, most people have used Excel. They know what Excel is and how it's used, but it can be used a little bit differently for a data analyst. For example, in Excel, a lot of people haven't cleaned data in Excel or built charts and graphs using Excel. To learn right away. And that usually does not happen, but the combination of SQL where you can query your data and then taking that data to build something, that is a really, really great combination to learn right away. I have an entire series on both Tableau and Power BI with projects on my channel. The third skill that I would learn is Excel. Now, most people have used Excel. They know what Excel is and how it's used, but it can be used a little bit differently for a data analyst. For example, in Excel, a lot of people haven't cleaned data in Excel or built charts and graphs using Excel, and those are things that data analysts would probably do. Excel is also just a fundamental skill that every company is going to expect you to know. So I have an entire playlist dedicated to Excel to actually walk you through how to use it for data analysis. The fourth skill that
that's what I'm going to watch now.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Alex the Analyst Data Analyst Bootcamp. This is the first video in the entire playlist, so if you are watching this and you have no idea what's going on, congratulations, you just unwittingly signed up for a Data Analyst Bootcamp. No, I'm just joking, but I'm also being very serious. So before we progress into a lot of the details of this Data Analytics Bootcamp, which is completely free on my channel, I am going to tell you about how this came to be. About 3 weeks ago, I put out this post and I'll put it somewhere on the screen. And basically it was a bit of satire. I was mostly kind of poking fun at boot camps just because they put stuff together and they call it a boot camp and they charge you a ton of money. So I was like, I should start one for free. The response was just enormous. I had like 12,000 people who liked it and commented on it and shared it on all different places. And people were like, no, Alex, you really need to do this. So really quickly, I'm just going to read what I put on LinkedIn, and then we're going to dive into the actual Data Analyst Bootcamp. So what I wrote was, I should set up a playlist called Data Analyst Bootcamp on my YouTube channel. They'll walk you through all the basics of SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Python, and more, all accompanied by projects and a way to create a portfolio website for free. Once you're done with the Data Analyst Bootcamp, you can go on my GitHub and download the certification for free. Then you can put Data Analyst Bootcamp on your resume in your experience section. Now, if you don't know me, I really like satire. And so again, that was a bit satirical. I was just kind of poking fun, but everyone was like, no, Alex, you need to actually do this. This is a fantastic idea. So here we are. I created a completely free data analyst bootcamp on my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to walk you through it and how you can get that certification at the end. All right, so let's take a look at the Data Analyst Bootcamp. I was not being serious about calling it the Alex the Analyst Data Analyst Bootcamp. That's insane. So right here, we have our Data Analyst Bootcamp. It is private right now, but when I release this video, I'll make it public so everybody can see it. But let's take a look at what's actually in it. So at the very beginning, we have this video, how to become a data analyst in 2023. This will actually be the second video. If you're watching this video right now, this will be above it. But the very first real video is just this, how to become a data analyst. And I walk through exactly the steps I would take. Now in this bootcamp is basically going to mimic this. It's going to be teaching all the things that I tell you in that video. So we start off with things like SQL. Now this is right now, all of this SQL basics all the way through SQL intermediate and the more advanced, like right here, that is all in Microsoft SQL Server. I'm going to be making an entire playlist for MySQL because that has been highly recommended so that everybody can do MySQL. So MySQL is on the way and I'll eventually replace this. But as for right now, it's all in Microsoft SQL Server. Then if we scroll down, we have projects to accompany this. So we have the Data Analyst Portfolio Project, which is SQL Data Exploration. Then we have a Data Cleaning Project. So 2 projects, Data Exploration and Data Cleaning, ones that I highly recommend taking. Then next we dive into Excel. So this is all for data analysts, right? So this is our entire Excel series, all the way down to our full project in Excel. Then we go on to Tableau. So how to install Tableau, all the way down to...
Okay, I'm going to start with Excel.
Hi. Is your small business relying on an email inbox to handle customer service? That's pretty
What's going on, everybody? Today we are starting our Excel tutorial series.
How do my stream end? Where is your uncle there? Okay. This is weird. I'm still streaming. Just confirm. You wanna take a fool for real? You can
No, I'm just joking, but I'm also being very serious. So before we progress into a lot of the details of this data analytics boot,
Okay. I'm active. I'm active, man. I'm active.
now there are so many things that you can do in Excel, so I don't know how long the series is going to be. It could be 15 or even 20 videos. But what I do know is that I'm going to be covering just about every single thing that I've used since I became a data analyst, and I want to show you how to do it. So it won't just be the more concrete things, like pivot tables, charts, VLOOKUPs, things like that. It'll also be some of the more nuanced things like how to deal with missing data or how to deal with dirty data and how to clean that up within Excel. And so those are things that you may not be able to do, if somebody wasn't showing you how to do it. And so that's what I'm going to try to help you, because I know that that is something that you will need to do or learn how to do in Excel. Now, before we get into it, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this Excel series, and that is Udemy. I took so many Excel courses on Udemy when I was first starting out as a data analyst. And there was this one course that I kept going back to over and over again, because as I got into it in my job, I realized that there were so many things that were in that course that I really needed to know, but but I didn't realize I needed to know it. And so I'm going to put the links to those courses in the description in case you want to take those. Again, huge shout out to Udemy. Without further ado, let's jump onto my screen and get started with our very first Excel tutorial. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of myself. We are going to be looking at something absolutely pivotal in your data analytics career, and that is pivot tables. And I think that's really appropriate. It is probably one of the most commonly used things I think that data analysts use to convey information in Excel. It's super easy to group things together, to display information in a very easily understandable way, especially for people who are not data analysts, right? I use this a lot for other managers or for higher ups who don't want to get into SQL or aren't super tech savvy in like Python or Tableau. They just want it in Excel. And so I use it all the time for that reason. And so we're going to be using this data set right here, bike store sales in Europe. I will include this link in the description. We're not going to
Sharp, sharp, sharp.
look at the columns just yet. We're going to download it. I've already downloaded it a few times, but we are going to go to our downloads. We're going to open it up, and we're going to open up this sales right here and give it a second.
You wanna take over for real? You can get his legacy out of my house. How shit. It's not making sense. We're playing the future with change. Not always. Damn. Why is it not opening? Finally. This table is looking. Especially on Excel. What if I don't want to?
To our downloads. We're going to open it up, and we're going to open up this sales right here and give it a second. All right, perfect. And so here's what it looks like, at least on my screen. I'm going to spread it out just a little bit. And really quickly, let's take a very quick glance at this. So we have a date, a day, a month, a year. So some
What the hell? How did he increase all of
spread it
that?
out just a little bit. What it looks like, at least on my screen. I'm going to
Okay, I see the vision. Makes sense. Makes sense, bruv.
spread it out just a little bit. And really quickly, let's take a very quick glance at this. So we have a date, a day, a month, a year. So some date information. Then we have some customer age information. So how old was the customer? Again, this is bike sales. So what did what did they buy? And then we have some demographic information. So this is their age group. We have the gender, the country, state, the product category, the subcategory, the actual product that was purchased. And then we have things like how much these things cost, the quantity that was ordered. So we have order quantity, unit cost, unit price. Then we have the profit, cost, and revenue. All things that almost everything in here, we can in some way put into a pivot table. Now, I'm not going to go through every single variation of that, but we are going to be looking at a lot of this revenue over here, because I think it's pretty easy to show the value of a pivot table especially with currency or money. So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to go up to Insert, and we're going to click on Insert, and then we are going to click on Pivot Table. Now, really quick, there is a recommended pivot tables. And if you click on that, what will come up is some recommendations that Excel gives based on the data that you have. And it can kind of give you some ideas of what you can do with pivot tables. It's going to generate it for you. We're not going to do that. We're going to build our own. But let's click on Pivot Table, and it's going to auto-select basically everything.
I think I have to share screen now.
Let's click on Pivot Table. We're not going to do that. We're going to build our own. But let's click on Pivot Table, and it's going to auto-select basically everything. And that's fantastic. But if it doesn't come like that, I just erase that. If it doesn't come like that, you can click right here. You can click, you can click Control, Shift, and then the right arrow, and then the down arrow. And that is going to select all of our data. And you have right here a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. We're going to create a new worksheet. Just tends to get
Bro, my head.
If it doesn't come like that, I just erase that. If it doesn't come
My head. It's crazy, innit?
like that, you can click right here. You can click, you can click Control, Shift, and then the right arrow, and then the down arrow. And that is going to select all of our data. And you have right here a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. We're going to create a new worksheet. Just tends to get to build our own. But let's click on Pivot Table, and it's going to auto-select basically everything. And that's fantastic. But if it doesn't come like that, I just erase that. If it doesn't come like that, you can click right here. You can click, you can click Control, Shift, and then the right arrow, and then the down arrow. And that is going to select all of our data. And you have right here a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. We're going to create a new worksheet. Just tends to get too clogged up if we put it on the same worksheet. A new worksheet.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about, man.
Just tends to get
Shit, one. That thing that's different from the sales.
too clogged up if we put it on the same worksheet that already has a lot of data in it. So right over here are pivot table fields, and these are all of our columns that we just looked at. And we're going to be able to select those and kind of drag and drop. Now, if you
Wait, that's why it's always a pivot table. This is like a special kind of table, like that one we saw on the monthly budget expenses. Shit. Yeah, looking at something like this. I feel like I'm Gucci Mane in 2006. All these diamonds dancing now, cause my for bricks. And I way that I look doing now that step don't make no sense. If YouTube remove this stream, I'm done for, man. I'm done for.
If you just took the Tableau tutorial series that I just finished doing last week, then this is going to be pretty familiar. You're going to start seeing a little bit of hopefully some patterns about how the data is kind of displayed. And so we have our filters down here. We have columns, rows, values. All of these things we will be using. I'll show you how to use today, as well as some additional things. One thing that we want to start with for this demonstration is we're going to be looking at kind of the these bottom ones right here, profit, cost, and revenue. And we're going to be doing that per country and state, and we'll kind of do some drill downs, and I'll show you how those work. So just to start out, we're going to take the country right here, and you'll see it populate right over here. In fact, let me zoom in maybe once. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know if I might zoom in again in just a little bit. So we have our country. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know if I want to take the country right here, and you'll see it populate right over here. In fact, let me zoom in maybe once. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know if I might zoom in again in just a little bit. So we have our country, and it's just like this. Very, very simple. Oops. Now I'm going to include the state. Now I'm going to drag this all the way, and I'm going to put it under. You can put it above, or you can put it below. I'm going to put it below. It definitely makes the most sense there. Now, when you do that, it kind of populates it in an expanded way, but you can collapse this very easily. We're going to go right here. We're going to right click. We're going to go down to expand and collapse.
Okay, let me not get too ahead of myself here. Well, rules means calling this rule. Country, yeah. And state, yeah. Then click on this here. Then going to collapse here.
And we're going to collapse the entire field. And so
Okay, that's another to do. No big deal.
now here are all of our countries as they were before, but now each of them has this plus sign to the left. And if you click on it,
Loki, I kind of feel. This no point facing me now. No, without. Loki, I kind of feel that if anybody's watching this too, they don't click on. So I think maybe after this video, I'll just maybe watch a YouTube video and get my reaction. Yeah.
now we can go and we see this state that we added to these rows. And what this is going to do is it kind of is like a roll up, or it's like a grouping. And so if you have taken the SQL tutorial series and you've done things with group by, this is very similar to that. And if you've done the Tableau tutorial series, it's kind of like a drill down. It's very, very similar. So you can drill into the information. So we can put some values in here, and what that's going to do is that's going to kind of create some context to what we're grouping by. So just for visual purposes, let's add this revenue. So this is the revenue that is bike sales revenue, right? That's what we're looking at. So this is the sum of the revenue for these bike sales per country. Now, if we drop down right here, we can see that in Australia, New South Wales had $9,203,495. Queensland had 5 million, et cetera, et cetera. So now we can break it down. We don't just have to look at Australia. We can now drill down even further to the actual state, is what they're calling it, the actual state within Australia. And so it's super, super useful, and you can do that for every single one. And so we can look at Canada, we can look at France, and we can really drill down into the revenue for each of these countries as well as the states within them. Now over here, this is not the most pretty. It just says sum of revenue, and then it has some numbers. Not the most pretty thing I've ever seen. Really quick, we can go kind of highlight over these, and we can go back to home. You can do it in a couple different ways. We can go to home, and we'll type currency. Now it has these 2.0. We can kind of highlight over these. It just says sum of revenue, and then it has some numbers. Not the most pretty thing I've ever seen. Really quick, we can kind of highlight over these, and we can go back to home. You can do it in a couple different ways. We can go to home, and we'll type currency. Now it has these 2.00 at the end. You can get rid of those really easily by going like that. Already this looks quite a bit better just visually, especially if you're looking at it in dollars. You can change the currency to different currencies if you want to do that. Now we don't just have to do the sum of revenue. We can do a lot of different things. So let's go to the value field settings. So we can customize this name. So let's go to the value field currencies if you want to do that. Now we don't just have to do the sum of revenue. We can do a lot of different things. So let's go to the value field settings. So we can customize this name. So we can do revenue. Oops, be good if I could spell revenue per country. That's fine. That it's just a placeholder to try to show you. But we don't have to just do that. We could do the count, the average, the max, the min. We can do just about anything we want.
I'm going to get our team back. Okay. Sharp. Then value field setting. Okay. Instead of summing all the things, you can count it, do variance, do standard deviation, population, variance of population, count number, products, etc., etc.
But let's keep it the sum right now. And if we want to, we can show this value. Oops, be good if I could spell revenue per country. That's fine. That it's just a placeholder to try to show you. But we don't have to just do that. We could do the count, the average, the max, the min. We can do just about anything we want. But let's keep it the sum right now. And if we want to, we can show this value as different things. So percentage, the percentage of column total, percentage of row total. Let's do really quick, just for demonstration purposes, the percentage of grand total. So when we do that, we can see that the United States, the per revenue per country, United States has 32% just between these these countries, and Australia has the next one. So it might be kind of hard to glance at this really quickly to know who has the highest. But what we can do is we can go right here and we can go to sort, and we can do largest to smallest. And there we have the United States on top. Now, when you do it right here, it's not sorted largest to smallest. You'd have to go in again, click sort, and do largest to smallest. And so now we can see that California has the biggest percentage. They're pulling in 20% of that 32% of revenue. So I'm just going to click Control Z a few times and get us back to where we just were. And what I want to do is I want to show you a few different things pretty quickly. So we want to pull in this profit and this cost. And so I'm going to pull in this cost next, and then I'm going to pull in this profit. Again, I'm going to change the currency on this.
You changed this one for me because I'm using Smart Excel.
This, and I'm not going to change the names right now, but you absolutely can do that. Now the revenue is how much is actually being sold. So
But I look it preferred it in percentage because I think percentage is more important in data analysis because it gives you like a part of a whole. So yeah, numbers can just mean anything. But like when you have this in percentage, it gives like the bigger picture.
for the United States, it was 27 million. Now the cost is how much did it cost to manufacture or store or distribute all of these products? So that was 60 million. And the profit is actually how much money is being made. At the end of the day, after all of their costs, after all their employee costs, after everything, the United States is still making $11 million. Now, you might look at this and you might say, well, I can kind of glance at it and know that this profit is correct based off these two numbers. But we can do a calculated field. And if you remember what calculated fields are, that's something from Tableau, basically the exact same thing. And so we can create an additional column right here that is a calculated field that can add and subtract these things to make sure that our numbers are adding up correctly. So let's do that really quickly. Let's go to Pivot Table Analyze. We're going to go over to Fields, Items, and Sets and go to Calculated Field. Now we can name this anything.
Pivot table analyze and maybe it's accurate profit. So formula will be revenue minus cost. Okay. All right.
And I'm just going to, for demo purposes, I'm going to say, calculated field demo. I'm sure yours will be different. Now, if you want to, you can go in here and this is the formula. It's almost like, we haven't looked at formulas yet. This is our first tutorial, but when we look at formulas, it's basically the same thing as writing it inside of a cell. But here it gives us kind of this open text to do how we do what we want with it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do revenue. I'm going to insert that. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to do revenue. And so that's the very large number. And then we're going to subtract. And we're going to subtract our cost. I'm going to insert that. And let's do this and click OK. So this is our calculated field demo column that we just created. And as you can see, it matches our sum of profit column exactly. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to kind of check to make sure that this revenue and cost fields are generating the correct profit. And sometimes those are off. And so it's really good to kind of check those and have that additional column. You probably wouldn't have this if you were, going to submit this to somebody. Just so you know, now that this is an actual column, you can't go here and do something like cut and paste it over here. That's not, I won't let you do that. What it is now an actual column. And so we can go and remove that and we can add it back at any moment. So if we want to go back and add that, add that down here, we can do that because we've created that column. It's now permanently there unless we go and delete all of that data. And so we can just click this check mark and it will get rid of it for us. All right, now the last thing that we have not used down here is the filters. Now, the filters is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to allow you to filter on certain things, but probably not things that you already have included in your pivot table. So if you add something like the country down here, it's going to kind of expand everything. And then if you then go and filter on it, it kind of breaks it down. That's really not what the filter is kind of used for or meant for. For example, right up here, we have customer gender. Okay, so let's take the customer gender and we'll put it in this filters. Now we can see all of the revenue, all of the cost, all the profit, and we can do that based off of the gender. So we can filter by a gender, not really having to change anything about our pivot table. And so at a super quick glance, we can see that the males are, the profit from the males is 16.487 million, and the profit from the females is 15.
Okay, kind of close. And these are actual data. That's what makes this interesting. Not like someone just sat down and found this. These are actual data. As was I put H of Woody shall me input gender.
$733 million. So at a super basic level, at a really quick glance, we can see that the men or the males are, spending a little bit more than the females by about $700,000. Now let's go ahead and create one more pivot table. We are going to create a pivot table right over here. Let's go back to the sales. Right here again, Control Shift right down. It's going to select all of our data. Table right over here. Let's go.
Let's cook. Pivot table. So go to sales. Go to the first cell, A1. Stop playing. Control Shift right then down. Today want to.
Go back to the sales. Right here again, Control Shift right down. It's going to select all of our data, and we're going to click OK. So one thing that we're going to look at is we're going to use some of this date information right here. So let's select our country just like we did before. And what we want to do is see, what year were we performing our best? When were we doing our absolute best with, and what we want to do is see, what year were we performing our best? When were we doing our absolute best with, let me go back, with our sales, just like we did before. And what we want to do is see, what year were we performing our best? When were we doing our absolute best with, let me go back, with our sales. So I'm going to select the year and put that in our columns. And so now we have 2011 through 2016, and we want to look with our sales. So I'm going to select the year and put that in our columns. And so now we have 2011 through 2016, and we want to look at our revenue. Let's put our revenue right down here. And now we have all of our revenue. Now let's, again, make this into a currency, just like that. And super quickly, now we can get a really quick glance at how Australia was doing each year. And we can see that there was a huge uptick in 2013 and a huge uptick in 2015. That didn't happen for every single country. It did go up for most countries, very slightly for some. But we can see on a large scale from year to year what that's like. And so within just a few minutes, we're able to create some really useful pivot tables that anybody could.
Okay, let me cook, man. Yeah, calling revenue here.
Look at and understand. And that's really the biggest use of these pivot tables, is that you can kind of group these things together, show some information and data at kind of a broad, larger scale, and make it to where anybody who's looking at it can understand it. That is why pivot tables are so useful. And so I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that I was able to walk through it and help you better understand how pivot tables work and how you can use them when you are working within Excel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.
I think that's basically all. Now, I want to do something. My feelings are the side. I don't want to be to my pictures popping on my mind. So I think that's the end. So I just want to react. So let me first come up with this idea, like reacting to my Twitter bookmark. Because I actually use this app a lot, but I'll be inactive. Also, I deleted this app on my phone. Yeah, just to be like more focused and be less distracted with social media. But a lot of people are scared of that bookmark. Should I do this bookmark? It's really that bad. Shall we see? Oh yeah, Elon Musk he tried to hide like you like a post said you can try to hide your like. So yeah. What is this? Damn. So I can't show you guys my bookmark. I'll just glance. It's nothing really bad. I don't know a bookmark. But this is actually funny.
Kendrick is up in his mouth. And I'm about to put my dick in it right now. Then I put it in his ass. Now he running but naked all over my house. I'm about to make him gay tonight. Back shots with both of my hands in his mouth. I know that he want it for real. Good sex with polo socks on mama's couch. I treat him just like all my hoes. I busted make.
Hmm.
Now she in my phone with a nickname. It's Grippy.
This is a very mistake.
Yeah.
Social media is not really interesting now before. Uh, hmm. Oops. Okay.
Number one, as mentioned above, Korea and London stream was for content. However, the things that happened after London was not part of the content. Number two, we did not have a conversation on whether if we wanted to keep doing this content or not. And I actually had no idea that we were continuing this Speed and Amy content. Some words were thrown around between Speed and his team for maybe taking me to the Euros final, maybe meeting me in July when I go to Florida, but it was not a set deal and it was more of a maybe. Number three, as to our feelings, I had asked Darren if it was just for content, and he did reply saying that at first it was, but he did also catch a bit of feelings, so he was also mixed in how he felt, and so was I. Number four, I did not say no to the proposal. When he did ask me to be his girlfriend on stream, I thought it was part of an act, but however, he did ask me again through messages, and I did reply saying that after a few more dates. And at this point, I wasn't really sure if it was part of the content or if it was his true feelings. Number five, I don't know where this rumor started from, but we never signed an NDA paper that read that it was all content and that I was signing up for content. But I did sign a contract that I should not say or leak any personal informations about Darren on the internet or even personally, which I never did. So, and now I want to talk about why I was upset that day on the live stream. Number one, I was very upset and confused, tired, and yes, jealous at the same time as to why Courtney was coming in between me and Darren and talking about our situation. If this whole Barbara situation was on the other foot, and if I had done that, I feel like I would have been called a cheater or maybe a little bit worse.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh, I need to watch Interstellar. I need to watch this movie. I'm sure. Is that the name? Is that the name? Because is that it? Or is it a different one? No, it's not it. But I need to watch that movie. Blade Runner. I need to watch Blade Runner.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
Oh, even though has been on this stream, yeah. Why did the camera turn like this? It's crazy. Apologies to anyone watching. So yeah, hey guys, I'm streaming on my phone basically. I'm using my phone as webcam. It's now decided to turn. Isn't that crazy? So since I've been like that.
You look like a good child.
We went to sleep and woke up early. Because it's already 11 p.m. So yeah, I think first day was a success. Many more to go. Yeah. So about to end stream, guys. keep the drip, cause yeah, actually drip. I can't really even show what I'm wearing. Well, yeah.